That was the problem with the church for me when I was younger, was like, wait. You guys don't see all these apples, though. These apples are crazy, dude. There's like giant plastic ones that they're going to put your dead bodies in when they declare martial law, and they're going to turn the Walmarts into FEMA camps. Like, you guys don't see that? And they're like, stop, leave me alone. So in my mind, I'm like, I can't even fuck with you if you don't see these apples, dog. So now what we get to be is the people that go like, no. Yes, the apples are there. You want to talk about them? No harm. Don't bonk it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about these apples, baby. We got time. I don't know how much time you need, but we got time to talk about the apples. 400 and some odd episodes of talking about the apples, as long as you need, so that you realize I'm on the same page as you, but this is the conclusion that I came to. Let me guide you over here. Come over here, get away from the apple. Don't touch the apple.
When the ship goes down, you gotta be ready when the ship
I pulled this up for people to understand. That's on Wikipedia. Now, I don't only go to Wikipedia, but I'm starting there for y'all to see, oh, okay, there's like a thing. I can go to I can type in IEEE space WBAN, enter. Oh, Wikipedia comes up, click. Oh, tons of blue links. I can click around and see what's going on. That's the thread in the sweater to pull y'all, because that wide body area network is made up of 2 radio frequency relay points and what they refer to as a terahertz-based intrabody nano network. Very weak, very low power, but able to talk and have nodes and biological analyte derivatives. All of that is just me saying, they running computers and the internet on your body. And if you don't understand how computers work,
when the ship goes down, you gotta be ready when the ship goes down.
But the bigger deception, the bigger thing that's happening right now that I wanted to get into is more of the narrative apparatus that's emerging. It's fleshing out this story that we're about to be subjected to surrounding the alien disclosure thing. Let's see here. Where do I want to start in this? We have Bledsoe, 10 facts about alien abductions.
Look up studies of moving mice with frequency. All of this is a thing. They want you to think it's just at the mice because it's been at the mice since 189 years ago. And now they got that button. They got that button. If you ask me, Kamala was on that. Donald is on that button. Everybody's on the button. Okay.
Cine face reguli tot ele încalcă, dar în umbră. Dacă și parcă erau român, bă. Tu nu te documenta mai bine, dă-ți o dungă. Intră pe TikTok după să-ți faci live în junglă.
I'm saying that to say we're further into this, y'all, than most people realize, because they have been hiding the fact that there is you have a body part that they're just not telling you about, and that body part is being used against your knowledge and against your will.
That are using torsion fields, toroidal fields, which is what your biofield is comprised of. Don't even try.
And that use is creating medical issues that the medical industry has no clue what they're fighting. They're slanging. They're doing D-dimer blood panels and they're doing dark film.
This seems to be something that has been a human capability for a long time. It seems that it's been suppressed, and now it seems that it's being repackaged and rolled out to the general public. It's passing through a filter that is a lesbian white woman who has all these political ideologies and cultural ideologies, so we can kind of suspect where she's going to go spiritually.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Kai Dickens, and you're listening to the Telepathy Tapes podcast.
My son said to me, I can hear thoughts.
And it's like these people, when they do decide they have to go spiritually, they go New Age. Because for whatever reason, it's not even whatever reason, they hate the patriarchy, right? They've been told by Western culture to hate the church. They will not look at Christianity in a fair way, right? An unbiased way.
I hate to tell you this, but those sigils, those things have been around forever. Guess what the way of possession has always been, even during the time of the Essene tribe and Jesus Christ? Bioelectricity. Oh my gosh, you mean in every language too? Wow. And when it's an exorcism, you mean the pattern of the breath of the rhythm of the prayer to disrupt the connection in the biofield out there? Yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's what it was in Sumer. That's what it was in Acadia. That's what it was in Persia. Oh, it's the jinn. That's what it was with the Mayans. That's what it's always been.
They tend to know a lot. These New Age people that are part of these movements, like they know a lot, but what they lack is the important context. I always go back to it. It's like the nature of the shit that you're doing and the nature of the entities that you're, in communion with. That's where you're wrong. But a lot of the minutia, as far as like, well, what is like a sacred geometry? What are chakras? They have all that shit down pat better than Christians do in a huge way, and massively detrimental to the Christian community, because I'm not saying that you need to use these things. I'm saying you need to know what they are and that they do exist, because if you don't, you'll fall victim to one of those things where, like, when you finally do see it, because your worldview said it doesn't exist, it becomes amazing to you. And in that state of amazement, you can be deceived. So it's very important that you do know that these things are real. These fucking New Agers really got it down pat.
33 de cuburi bice din aur placat cu diamante. Toate așa frumos colorate, le așez pe verticală, backup la coloană, mânca un kundalini dat de nedescifrat. Să-mi trag cablu sub apă, mai vreau un tank.
Instead, they're going to jump straight to crystals and eventually end up in witchcraft, where they finally admit that spirituality is real, but that, God's not real and Jesus Christ isn't real. So,
Că știi tu mai bine oricum, nu? Și eu-s nebun, eu nu înțeleg, nu știu ce spun, nu? Își ia cu pietre, nu știu prea multe, dar și aud deja e pe jar cu fier. Nu joacă fair play, am auzit că-s nebun, nu sunt, sau poate sunt.
So when you start talking about that video game and started this question, I start thinking about how that's how the spiritual world, but the dark spiritual world, is starting to come even more into our reality. Possession doesn't just have to be this like biblical idea of like floating cloud of darkness coming into a person's biological body. It is literally coming through electricity, and the communications are coming in through our eyes, and they're coming right into our bodies, man.
Through our skin.
And the Fitbits and wearables.
Intelligent reflective surfaces.
But the occultists, etc., the cipher code that they're really using, they don't want anybody to know, so you don't. And then the demons themselves with the geometry, your morphological resonance, the way your cells move, vibration is geometry in motion.
Mă găsești cu arme, lasă prin tuneluri din Bucești, pion, pion. Mașina lor fără de noxe, arde peste nori, noi levităm sus casa molse.
So those sigils are lined up to your bioelectricity. It's another reason why we need our anatomy, and we need to be able to feel it and say no.
Again, it was a whole conversation about how this concept of AI that predates computer language learning model AI.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever it was called AI, and everybody was scared of it. Basically, it was like
hyperspace math. Yeah, living plasma or living plasma states that don't need to be confined to a chipset because they're made of air. The integrated circuits are made of air and light and sound and pressure. Yep.
Satana e o legendă, iar spiritul părere și vă cârpiți cu strențe infernul subteran. Fugiți de adevăruri prin cotituri savante, îmbrățișați minciuna fiindcă îmbracă fracul. Vă lustruiți păcatul cu laurii lui Dante, o turmă siparită, tu n-ai văzut pe dracul.
Or maybe I should just allow myself to be pale, and they put makeup on all of us anyway, so who really cares? No, we want you to know that he's Apollo reincarnate, that he's representing Apollo here on Earth.
Like I said, back on Dangerous Retards, I was saying that this was a thing that was going to pass. I said that Trump was going to get back into office. I said that we were going to see the comeback story from the guy that wrote The Art of the Comeback, because it's all theater, and there was going to be a big Q vindication. Jack says, do people still believe in Q? Yes. Yes, and for good reason, because Q uses a tremendous amount of truth. I have a feeling the Q thing is gonna blend into the alien disclosure thing. That's just what I suspect. Longest running theatrical play ever. Agreed. It's strictly entertainment. Look to it for entertainment, guys, but, keep orienting towards God.
Your body and your soul come as this package. Their system is this thing that they're trying to introduce in between.
Probabil ți-ar prinde bine editare de gene cât timp nu înțelegi că filmul e în spatele scenei.
They want to get up and in those microtubules, extract any soul energy as It is actually adhering back to your soul. They want to keep that, put it in a plasma chipset. That sounds crazy. Yes. Yeah, so does most of this.
When I got into like the truther movement, and I believed a lot of the stuff, like the white hats and all this kind of stuff, regardless, like you're learning about this technology and you were learning about the idea of the fake alien invasion. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, it's going to be so funny. And then I'd think about it sometimes. I'd be like, but what if it really is like so real that I can't, that it's still going to trick me and make my mind think like, this is real.
They are gearing up for this divine feminine aspect. Sophia supposedly being the Gnostic revelation of the female counterpart to Jesus. So here, let's see what we got going on.
And you received a prophecy about 2026 as well, right?
Yeah.
And what was that?
Well, she said, and I had no idea what it meant. Still don't. Other than she said that when the star of Regulus, which is a blue star, when it appears red on the horizon at the dawn before the sun comes up, in the gaze of the Sphinx, in other words, I saw it in a vision, the whole thing. You can see the Sphinx facing east, and this thing's just cresting the top. She said when that happens, that will be a sign that ushers in a new knowledge for humanity.
Okay, so, you guys heard that. I'm just going to, before we go any further, say I do believe this guy is having experiences. I don't think he's lying. I don't know much about him. The UAP community is much more familiar with him than I am. Apparently, he's been around for a while. I just, like I said, I saw his son full of divine feminine energy, meaning homosexual, talk about how the lady is in control, which is I hear that and I go, the lady is in control. Patriots are in control. Everything about my mind is connecting dots that certainly aren't there to Melania Trump. I just think she's going to play a role in this. That bitch is, supposedly Pleiadian or something. So here, I just wanted to say that, though. I do think that this guy had an experience, but, spirits lie all the time.
So does that mean the return of Jesus or the return of Christ consciousness? It could.
The very big gay Christ consciousness.
And not where the whole world totally sees the Antichrist coming from a mile away. And then Christ comes.
Yeah.
So,
look, he has red horns.
Right, there he is, right there, red horns. That's the Antichrist.
He's so
Don't follow
mean.
him. Oh, God.
No.
Okay, I'm waiting on Jesus. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to have red herring Antichrist, real Antichrist, Christ. Now, I'm not here today to talk about eschatology or the Antichrist, but I'm explaining to you this because this was my thinking and my heart and our thinking when we first started. Brought that story up to say, I don't think people have, I'm not going to tell you what you are or aren't. I don't think I was aware that a false light movement was so necessary and so in the works already when I first went into this. I would have thought we're dealing with battle of good and evil. This world is really a battle of good and evil, light versus darkness. It took me being a whole 30-something and some change-year-old to be like, actually, I'm pretty sure it's not good and evil, light and darkness. I'm pretty sure it's true light versus false light versus true darkness. And the true light and the true darkness rather and the false light are working in the checkerboard-like dance where you do this and I do that. You do this.
The good cop and bad cop.
Good cop and bad cop, right? And so exactly. So we're realizing, holy smokes, there's a big deception coming where the world accepts this religious thing. Maybe it'll be Jesus, I don't know, but like this religious figure that people equate to either being God or a vicar or representative of God because they haven't been they haven't been told up to this point how their present system is already being gamed. So we're already off to the next trick. The present trick, the trick that's been going since all of us have been born, that's just now getting exposed. Just now. I've been seeing videos of P. Diddy everywhere. Everybody talking about P. Diddy now. Like now. Diddy been diddling for 30, 40 years. But now they want to talk about him. You see what I'm saying? This is why we're presenting it this way. Because I can't prove to people everything. I can prove to you a lot of what I say. I just can't prove everything of what I say. And it requires that you understand how the world works.
Discută de drumuri pe Marte, pe bune, nu harfe. Ce-ai văzut în filme probabil urmează. E aproape, fi gata să devii dușman cu aproapele. Vede, te ajută la îndoctrinea capete. Conducători ne vor coopera și departe de cultura noastră. Și dați-ne minte și o travă în simbiot. În tabăra mea rămâne uman. E și antidot și antibiotic.
Behind Trump? Oh yeah, and then they made Jesus look like her. Like, I just think that's the weirdest thing in the world, dude. Like, if you look from the eye, from the nose
that's a painting at Mar-a-Lago that they did on New Year's.
And it has the eyes of Ivanka Trump. I mean, yeah, whatever the hell this lady's name.
It has the whole appearance of Ivanka Trump, but it's supposed to be Jesus. Just very bizarre.
But that's an aside. I'm just putting that out there because I'd like to be in my search for Gnostic truths. I'd like to be remembered as the guy who said that she's going to play a role in all this. But I do think the QAnon thing and the Galactic Federation of Light thing, which is what somebody else is in control. Somebody else is coming to save you. And in particular with the Galactic Federation of Light and all this Pleiadian, it is specifically feminine. It's a feminine. They even use the female voice in the Galactic Federation of Light videos to tell you that just hold on a little bit longer because we're gonna liberate you. We're gonna save you. And that is what everybody supposes. By the way, what are they doing? These UFOs when they show up? Oh, they're stopping nuclear war. They're giving us prophetic warnings about destroying our own planet and that we need to ascend and all this crap. But we're being oppressed or suppressed by these evil satanic forces. So clearly they have their good in mind. Like all of this crap is pointing to this divine feminine. That by the way, we've been subjected to the vast majority of subliminal messaging and symbols that we're subjected to, whether it's at the Super Bowl or anything, is divine feminine.
The biology. And then the shamans or the priest class or whoever using different, what they call pharmakia. You mean drugs like ayahuasca, DMT, pot, shrooms, whatever, that make your neurons oscillate differently. And then here comes the sigil with your disembodied something, fill it in. And it's looking for a body. It just wants to get in. So when I discovered that with all these, because I grew up with a lot of New Age people and whatnot, and the things they talked about never fully added up.
Apollo, for anyone that wasn't paying attention earlier in the video, Apollo is the sun god. The sun god is Lucifer, the light bearer. Must be a coincidence as well, especially when people like Elon Musk, who is bringing in AI governance with Donald Trump, tell us that artificial intelligence is literally summoning the demon, right?
Scuturi fizic, sentimente rele, spun o rugăciune. Am încercări ispite, multe demoni spă bune. Na, așa e el, man, se îmbată, nu știe ce spune.
PD Jakes, everybody's empire is about to crumble along with a lot of this pop culture empire. But obviously that's built on exposing the disclosing the secrets strategically. And the strategic disclosure, that was everything about these sealed indictments and mass arrests, all this. Strategic disclosure is to say, hey, look, you guys, look at that. That's bad. Look how evil and icky it all is. You don't want that. You want righteousness and Christ consciousness, don't you?
Well, the thing that I see what's happening here. We want to sigh a breath of relief when we first permeate the big lie. The big lie is set up for us, and that's pretty obvious. It's just called the official narrative. Yeah. The official narrative is whatever it is. And we live in a materialistic paradigm. If you have an experience where you break through that veil, that wall, and let's say you experience firsthand, like I believe David Icke did, some sort of spiritual entity, you're really not stopping to think about breaking through another layer of lies. You're just blown away that this thing that you were told was not real is in fact real.
Yeah, you got it.
And now you're special, which makes it even worse and even harder to navigate this. And it's going to impart upon you the coveted information that was always right out of your grasp on the other side of this veil that you broke through. So you worked your ass off. You got through the veil. They gave you a big high five, gave you a medal, told you were special, gave you the information. Done. Who wants to go past that? Who wants to go like, am I really special? Is this metal even made of precious metals? And is this thing lying to me? Nobody wants to do that. And then, of course, there's the even harder point of like, how do you begin that? It's one thing to tear apart the Mockingbird media. It's another thing to, look through Freedom of Information Act documents that were finally released.
Department of Defense, DOD, United States of America, DOD Directive 3000.09, autonomy in weapon systems.
The only thing that you have to deal with these spirits is to test them in the name of Jesus Christ. But if you're not a Christian and you think that Jesus was part of that old paradigm that you just busted through, you ain't got to deal with these entities. What's that? Ascended Pleiadian Atlantean master? I'm special and you have coveted information for me? Even if you have an inclination that this thing is lying to you, how the hell do you go about discerning that?
Televiziunea e amorțeala și ce numiți muzică vă reprezintă boala. Percepțiile sunt blocate, impuse tactic, o generație retardată mediatic. Astru inutil, strălucind de vreme, spun cretat ajută necredinței mele.
Ricky Bobby, I am getting what she's putting down. The thing that really helped me connect the dot on what she was just saying for anybody who might be a bit like, I don't get it. When I first learned about the W band being ratified and standardized in the IEEE as 802.15.6, whereas Bluetooth was 1 digit over.
0.5 in
right,
French.
Bluetooth is 0.5. Exactly, and Zigbee and the rest. And then the 802.11, right, just 1 decimal place up the ladder is your Wi-Fi. When it finally clicked that, okay, so they took this thing out of mainstream awareness. Then they built 70, 100, 130 years worth of underground and above ground satellite systems. Stranger Things would probably be the best way to equate it to, because I just really have this hunch that there's going to be a heaven.app for all of the Christians that might not realize what's coming around the corner in these data centers. And I think this concept of electro-spiritualism, even though it might not be branded that way, is really coming probably right after the doggone, AI precision healthcare.
Hexagonal lattice of carbon atoms called graphene. It's single atom thick, but stronger than steel.
It'll get pulled right over because of the magnetic field.
Look at it building up. Whoa!
It's still a liquid, but because of the magnetic field, it's actually taking on a different shape.
Man, this divine feminine thing, I think, is the culmination of, one of the big fun backdrops to conspiracy is that moment in the deserts of New Mexico or what have you with Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard. We've all heard the story, right? We know how it goes.
Resulting rhythm and gateway summoned a demon. He was contained within the lodge that has been delivering short parables similar to passages within the Book of Lies. The unicursal hexagram was the symbol of Crowley's Golden Dawn Order. Danny's drum skins feature such occultic symbols and patterns.
What is that logo that Apple's using for their app for Apple AI? It looks a lot like the star. How many points is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 7. 7, right? A heptagram. And what is the heptagram known for in the occult? Well, it's used in the symbol for Babylon in Aleister Crowley's occult system, Thelema, right?
We're using Aleister Crowley's works to summon into this realm an entity known as Babylon. And Babylon is a female entity. And this thing is supposed to usher in an age of feminine liberation and divine feminine energy. And then if you look around, Everybody's gay now. Maybe it worked. And you see that element, by the way, of the divine feminine constantly.
Posing on magazine covers just like they do, with one hand over their eye. They fold their arms across their chest, making an X symbol. So Elon Musk renames this platform. He is giving the logo for Grok over to Saturn, right? And Saturn is the secret god of the occult.
Stau și observ, asta e mutația, social ciudat. Ultimul zvâc de animal până am fuzionat cu mașina de fapt.
Are pretending that they're exposing the deep state. They're really actually revealing themselves as worshipers of Satan. Satan, Saturnalia, Saturn Moon Matrix, the Black Cube. This is constant symbolism that is around us. The Star of David is another symbol that people don't seem to interpret correctly.
Adică bale noi, rechinii zic mare domn, demonii zic mare om, toate oglinzile zic zic, 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 pare om, toți bâlbâiții zic, 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 n-are cum. Zic, 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 n-are cum, paleontologic vorbind, n-am timp.
And you say yeses to the devil or whatever you want to call it. Like, this is just conceptual for people that don't believe this. Would you be trapped and used as an eternal light power source?
Your biophotonic energy through those microtubules, you're supposed to be stuck to, adhered, sticky, to your own anatomy, your biofield. But you're not, because your face is jammed in the black screen. You don't trust yourself. You're listening outside of you for the signal. So they overwrite that. I sent you a link of what it looks like. And then you get stuck on a chipset. And then they put that in a data center, and there you are. And I used to call this fire and brimstone, because then your plasma states are magnetically IBM drum magnetic memory underground to that chipset. And then, like the Johnny Depp movie in Transcendence, you upload to your synthetic chipset with your digital twin and wait for a new body to walk in. Welcome to life extension technology. They need many parts.
Dacă pretinzi ar fi bine să joci rolul până ajungi la ananghe. Hai că văd eu mai departe de treabă, dar sper să n-ajung haralambe. Levitează gol, am pe corabie, am fost decorat de gorab cu o sabie, dar-mi scos șuriul la modul ce faceți, băi?
The same way I think QAnon was there for the, I don't want to call these people stupid, people that believed QAnon. I think they're actually a cut above the average moron. You know, you don't have to worry too much about the lemmings who are just asleep and will, you know, step left, step right when you tell them to. That programming that controls, let's say, the left is already there. That's through whatever, Netflix and all that. You have to account for the people above them, and then what percentage of the population, a very small percentage of the population that's capable of high level critical thinking. We call them conspiracy theorists. That's a terminology coined to dismiss anybody looking into the JFK assassination. Remove that, and what are you left with? High-level, skeptical, critical thinkers. You find this. Is there any room in your thoughts that this could be that? Because if you can convince people of this sort of thing, what if something does happen? What if, let's say, what if Jesus returns and speaks? And then what? The people that are capable of high-level critical thinking go, U.S. patent 339-3279, voice to skull technology. This is what's happening. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I know that the BRICS alliance is essentially replacing the financial alliance of the Federal Reserve hegemony and the whole Rockefeller dynasty. But he does have a rocket in Mars or something like that.
Așa în caz că ai uitat pe cine e șeful de fapt la noi în barcă. Cine e șeful de stat jos pe bancă.
Separate conversation, separate day. Mars and space and outer space and aliens. Orbs and time travel, all these things are concepts that they want to model within the computer system. Space might as well be server space at this point. Yeah, they're not in outer space pointing lasers anywhere. They're on the internet managing and governing cyberspace using human psionic abilities hijacked, repurposed with augmented synthetic biology so that they can log into wireless networks that certain augmented humans can already log into. Yes, already. That they told you it was a conspiracy theory and it couldn't happen. And activate. They lying, y'all. They lying. All right, I'm gonna go.
When you know your own resonance, and when Chris and I are grooving, I know him and I know what that should feel like. Anything else, including something that would try to hijack my 0.0035% eyeballs, I'm going, shoot. And then I'm listening because I listen with my whole body. They wanted to jump that blood-brain barrier so they can force your eyeballs to see something. Then you go into fear, fight or flight mode, and then the endocrine system is jammed. Then they can do to you whatever they want by actuating a signal. Hell to the no. Get up and off of me. I'm moving.
If somebody's coming out spouting this narrative or that narrative, I'm like, I could kind of safely discard you. I can put you in this box here because I'm like, all right, now this is a CIA talking point. This is a Fed talking point, or you're just dumb. So I'm like, good. This saves me time in the future for things that you're saying later, Mike Cernovich, where I could just be like, yeah, I mean, but we already knew about you.
Or you're milking a thing because it's still like it's topical, and if we keep talking about it,
can
we get that apple?
It's a blocking point. Even Ian Carroll like getting stuck on this and talking on this. It's like, I don't know, what about the kids that they poisoned with the telepathy tapes? No,
yeah, well, he didn't say it. I wish that was more of a sticking point, but I don't know. I just look at all this right now and I go, it's obvious that we're immersed in these psyops. And now everybody and their mother is a high-level conspiracy theorist. Donnie Darkened, he was running that Trump page for a time and all this stuff, and I get it. You know, he's a sinner and a retard. I'm a sinner and a retard. I pray that he figures it out. I pray that he's not doing that crap anymore where he's saying that Trump might be an antichrist figure who's ushering in the beast system while also on Facebook running a pro-Trump page. And like, I pray that he figures that out and that, you know, he gets right with God on that. But he said something interesting. He says the reason conspiracy culture and anti-Israel sentiment are going mainstream is because Satan is preparing the Gentile nations to see the God of Israel as the grand conspirator against humanity and to fight against him at Armageddon. That's an interesting thing because he's not wrong right there. He's not wrong because I've already seen that. I've already seen people go with the demiurge narrative. I've already seen people say that the God of the Old Testament is not the God of the New Testament. You read a couple of books about what the Ascended Masters tell you. You're going to have a good time. You're also going to find that the information they gave you plays really well with the underbelly of conspiracy information that's out there. So now you get to go out and infiltrate this community and become a firsthand experiencer, talking head for which is what David Icke has become, and so many other people, right? He's up there with like an Alex Jones or whatever. You're an authority on an intangible topic that everyone is seeking. Or you can ask the Pleiadians if they're lying.
Yep. Yeah, no, you make a good point, but it just, I guess once you know, or once you look at, like, it just seems so weird to me that, like, you know, there's people in this space that I like, but they're just so far off. And, you know, it's like their heart's in the right place. But
Ace K says we must stand boldly. And to that, I would say, what's more bold than proclaiming the name of Christ until your head rolls? Which, you know, some people think that that's where we're going. We were talking to Laura Baker recently, and she thinks the Noahide laws are going to come into effect and Christians are really going to be persecuted. And maybe I could see that. So then you spread the good news until your head rolls. And then when it rolls, you get to be in the good news. So
armatele văzute stau aspre față în față. Curând va începe lupta și în voi, în fiecare, și o veți simți cumplită în curgete și viață.
On the far opposite end, your hyper conservatives, people who are zealous for the original Torah, keeping in mind they just came out of a whole entire captivity a century or two prior. So these were these are the people like today who go, you better get off my lawn there, buddy. I'm an American and I got American rights. And I'm telling you this, I'll blast your head off if you step foot on my property. Now that's a pretty conservative caricature, but blasting one's head off is murder, and murder is something that the Torah says not to do. So the Nazarenes didn't really rock with them. Like me, like the Nazarenes were like the conspirators, the conspiracy theorists of their day. I like using that because I want people to understand that this tiny sect in the bottom middle, this was Jesus. Please understand. This was literally everybody in the whole book except for one character who we'll talk about later. But they were a part of this core that was not liked by the state. So we have to keep in mind that we're talking the conspiracy theory. We're saying the Hellenists were, yes, queen, oh my goodness, God loves everybody. This was your hyper, super duper, hyper, ultra Hellenistic, oh yeah, I'm Jewish, oh yeah, Torah, hashtag Torah, ha ha ha, holla at your boy. They didn't rock with these limp-wristed neo, hyper, super duper liberals. You couldn't just worship Apollo and just give lip service to Torah and that was supposed to be okay. The concept of being a scene was being a doer. That's where we do this. We don't actually just give it lip service. We actually follow God's instructions. That's why we're Nazarenes. The super pious ones, we take the Nazarite vow. Whoa!
Our job, though, as well, is to...
Not saying I don't have those thoughts. I do, but I'm not going to go out there and push that person away.
Yeah, and I've done a good job. I've never really commented on these people because now I think the other girl that had sex with 1,000 guys just got baptized, and I saw it, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anything.
I hope so.
But what I think is our job is to warn other people, like what you just said. Number one, don't judge them and push them away, but also don't put them on a pedestal.
Yeah, they're not your leader.
Don't be fooled. No. Like my whole big thing when I was on Tim Pool's show, I had asked him about guys like Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson at the time and how they I thought that they had failed in their messaging to young people. And I go, at what point, Tim, do we just say next shooter? Like who's up next? Mm-hmm. I get you brought a lot to the table, but you missed it in such a big way that I can't overlook it. I don't want to kill you, but we got to push you to the back of the line.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And Tim, he was just like, anyway, and he didn't want to even address that question. But I was like, that's a fair question because that's how we should deal with these people. Like you were at the forefront of doing X, Y, Z. Now you think you're going to be at the forefront of pushing Christianity because you got baptized? No, you're the back of the line, but you're in line with us. We're all together here, but you got to shut up. Like that's very important.
Yeah, just because you're used to being the mouthpiece of whatever it was you were representing before.
Well, they're bringing the weight of 1 million followers on Instagram, and then now you're pushing Christianity. You could say the same for like Justin Bieber or whatever, you name it, whatever Snoop Dogg, whatever new celebrity has decided to embody Christianity. We're like, thanks, great, back of the line. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people here that have been talking about this for a long time accurately, and you are not fit to do that.
Because all the nations were deceived by your sorcery. What is this sorcery, guys? Charms, enchantments, magical spells, tricks, secret arts.
După care taclale o dau în spirituale și din 7 cercuri fac o floare cu 6 petale. Floare vieții 1-3 de la mare. Șerpălău vin mereu cu flow de la tare. Vezi că vine potopul. Lasă vină să curețe breve.
You know, it was a little bit chaotic at some points. Hey, Kingdom in Context in the chat. He said, I wanted to be in that convo so bad, not for the day, Indiana, but for the discussion of aliens. Yes, well, it's not too late, and the way things have kind of panned out with the guests that we've scheduled, we're going to kind of go on a parade of hammering disclosure. And like I said, the very next thing that we did was we talked to Fringe, which was a fantastic episode. Fringe being an actual experiencer of alien abduction, lots of good information, and she's helping to guide people to God. Because at the end of the day, despite what Timothy Alberino said on the documentary, there are only two sides in this. You are either for God or against God. And I don't mean people, I mean these entities. Alberino said there was a neutral party, to which I said, Jesus says, whoever's not with me is against me. Thereby, if you think you're neutral, you're not. That didn't really matter. We just moved on from that. He didn't address that. All right, so unless you're espousing like I am new in this walk and I'm desperately trying to understand what this is. Like, I got to hear some
back of the line.
Yeah.
Because it gets very, very confusing. And the reaction for Christians, people that are Christians, new Christians, old Christians, is to look at you and go, you don't belong here. And I get what they're saying, because what they're going to be doing is possibly creating this weird stumbling block for other people. But that's not the right way to deal with them. The correct way is to be like, you don't really, like, in this landscape, you ain't sorry. You're new here. So quiet down. Yeah. Not to be offensive, but it's this obvious deception.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like now we're moving into this weird, more nuanced deception that can get tricky.
The reason why we started out saying, okay, y'all need to understand Jesus is because Jesus being equal to God is the primary tool that is being sharpened to get people to worship this false whatever as God, right? If Christians are groomed to go to church every Sunday and to sing songs about facts about Jesus that he knows about himself, like, you are so good, you are so good to me. Like, oh, I am good, I'm good to you. Well, why you ain't good to me, huh? Why you ain't do what I asked you to do?
I'll be back.
Groomed to sing these songs, and they equate the subject of their adoration to being God, right? And they do so earnestly, right? I'm not here mocking Christians at all. I think Christians can be very lovely, nice people. So can atheists, right? But the point is, it's not about mocking or singling out any one person. It's about saying, listen, we just weren't educated all right. They didn't tell us everything right. And they have a lot of us trained to equate Jesus to God, which is the first trick, if you ask me, in getting someone to worship a false something as God, is to already start by moving the worship of God out of its proper context to begin with.
You see the conundrum that I'm having here, but, like, you know, Jude 1:4, for there are certain men crept in unaware who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord God and our Lord Jesus Christ. This is not something that we should be confused about. This is something that, like, this is where the deception was always going to come from. Billy Carson, when we look at him, you go, yeah, this guy's a wanker.
I was sitting in my house. The house turned this lavender color. There were beings directly in front of my face, and they made my brain shake in my skull.
It's obvious. Yeah.
It's obvious, and it's easy. You can go and you can just pull the carpet from him on Joe Rogan and then just go start running.
Yep.
Right. But that's what they do. That's this false light. So when I learned that, oh, wow, spiritually speaking, the New Age is an entire movement built on presenting the false light as the solution to an obvious darkness that they themselves expose. They call it the season of disclosure.
Yeah. You know, hey, you know what, though? Maybe he's onto something. Maybe what he's not taking into account is that the grays are real, but they're not just spiritual beings, they're biomechanical. I mean, look, we're dealing in the realm of, once again, intangibles. Intangibles. We've suspended our disbelief, chat. Have we not? Have we not? Okay, Mr. Bledsoe, the only beings that are allowed in this realm are the ones that the Bledsoes have been talking about. For the Bledsoes decree it so. Okay. What about things that aren't spiritual? What about things that are, flesh that can be inhabited by a spirit? Perhaps a biomechanical automaton that jerks you off. How about that? Is that on the table? How about a hybrid chimeric creation that's fucking 10 feet tall and has the body of a man but the head of a dog and it's incredibly strong? And, what about those? What about a Nephilim? How about that? How about a flesh and blood entity that is a hybrid creation? Huh? Does that make sense? Perhaps? Will that do it for you, Mr. Bledsoe?
But I think the question is, like, are you being intentionally dishonest, or are you fooled yourself? But, like, where we're going, am I fooled? And that's perhaps a good question.
That's a fair
to ask.
question. I think we should always be asking that.
But where we're aimed is not in the same direction. So that means that we're talking about, bad doctrine. And that's bad for the people who are watching and listening to us. So I think that's going to be 2026's issue, and that's going to be a pretty delicate issue because the time is getting closer where what you just said, Ed, about this deception of Jesus coming back and people being confused about his character and his nature, that's going to be called into question. So like our thing with Alberino would be, he's like, all aliens are not demonic.
Well, apparently,
Pleiadians, tall whites, like these ones that look good, that they come, they give you these prophecies. He's like, no, well, the grays, the small grays are purely demonic. And I'm like, cool, let's keep going. But he won't. And I'm like, well, that's where the deception's going to come in.
Nu mă închin la pentagramă, ai pe față aramă. Uneori în sutană, satană, rămâi stană. Am altă frecvență, nu rezonez eu la camă. Fiindcă musca la flamă, generează o dramă, venerează o travă, aterizează eu, transmisii pe mama navă.
20-12 se schimbă, era poate să fie ideal sau poate să fie glacial sau a treilea război mondial sau doar o maghiară transmisită.
Dacă nu încearcă în ceacră, spun mintea la treabă. Dacă nu știi, întreabă, am glonțul pe țeavă. Între pământ și apă, unde e fân și lavă. Și vremea e și lavă, geometrie sacră, muzică pe placă. Noi am făcut-o, acum sper să vă și placă.
Ăștia nu vor să mă vadă strălucind, preferă să mor. Cuvinte dor, pământul cade, îngerii ne cântă în cor.
But that must be a coincidence as well.
Or you're going to run into the guy that says, prove it. And
I got no proof for
yeah,
you,
it's like,
buddy.
I mean, but how do you prove something supernatural?
Yeah.
And also, what should we be telling people just to prepare for this? Should we be telling them like some are good, some are... I don't know, Ed. I feel like...
Yeah. So, well, okay, yeah, a lot there. So let's start with...
Încă o dată, man, nu e că dacă înțelege, dacă ai sau nu ai ureche, dacă vrei sau nu vrei să vezi.
I guess that's what they're going to continue to do.
I like it though. I think that the conversations are fun once you know, like it's like, wow, if the way has really been paved for us and our sins have been paid for, and there's like, because it's, without hope, then it becomes like this big spiraling nonsense thing. But once you have Christ in the center of that, and you're like, oh yeah, we've already got a way through this. It's already been, the debt's already been paid. Now all this becomes fun, because then you can look at it and go like, yo, how crazy is this realm? How crazy is this realm where they want you to plug into a 9-to-5 and sit in a cubicle and live life on repeat until you expire, dog?
You don't understand computers and electronics? It's okay. Not everybody needs to. But start actually paying attention to what the wide body area network is. Start looking for some of these people speaking out in very professional and direct ways that are not mealy-mouthing it to you. Take this detox protocol and all of your symptoms and all the nanotechnology will be gone from you. No, it won't. Number 2, it'll just get reinfused over time. Number 3, nanotechnology is not the only way they do what they do. There is optogenetics, epigenetics, CRISPR, actual mRNA, and other types of gene therapies stuck in things that they shouldn't be. There's all kinds of things coming at us. The best solutions, get organic, get local, figure out how to actually provide for yourself once. That's what I'm doing. I'm not an expert at it. I haven't mastered it, but it is where my compass is oriented, because I simply just don't trust the leadership. And I think a lot of people don't.
Our own people will enslave us ignorantly, and in doing so will enslave themselves. So a lot of people are, oh, this is unpalatable. This hurts my feelings. I don't like the way it feels on my ears. People, do you understand that everything beautiful on the earth is at stake? Everything in the natural world? Your bloodline, your future, your freedom, absolutely everything good is now at stake. It's not coming. It's 2025, folks. Their agenda is to deploy it between 2025, which is the big show, to 2030. You don't have any more time to feel good. You don't have any more time to be pat on the head and talk to gently and explain and us being patient. Now we who know are going to call you out for being fucking cowards and fucking idiots, because you're bringing about the fucking apocalypse. The digital AI apocalypse is upon us. Will you fight? or will you kneel? That's it, bro.
Cine are garda? Cine lasă toate astea să se întâmple? Cine face plata? Susține resturi de la cheeseburger la pistă. Suntem toți doar substanțe și enigme. Îți scriu cu ultima mea mână dreaptă. Mă seacă, aș dori un strudel și o armă.
In place of truth, we give you miracles. We wrap your world in illusions. We make you see what we want you to see.
Purely the psychological phenomenon. And
Well,
it's
then
like, well, you prepare.
Somebody would say, "Oh, well, just pray." I was like, "No, you better study."
Well, you should pray too.
Yeah, but you better study because if you just pray, God's going to be like, "Why are you talking to me right now?"
Yeah.
You should be practicing this line because this is all here for you.
But you
Get
don't.
ready.
Those are things that are actionable. You don't freak out. You don't smash it and it gets bigger and bigger and it causes you all this anxiety. It's like, no.
I just don't think we need apples in society.
Do your job and then give what you can't do up to God and then just move forward.
Simt binecuvântat și protejat. Simt că am mai trăit astea odată. Simt că fac exact ce trebuie să fac și fac ce-mi stă în putere ca să o duc la capăt fără teamă.
A discussion really needs to be had about the nuance, about the detail, because it is nuanced and it is detailed, and it's, you know, it's the history of the world, it's the nature of reality, it's the nature of our existence, it's the nature of God. And if you're just glomming onto it to pick a side, well, okay, cool, like, welcome. Let's talk about this then. So if you're having contention with your brothers, and if they are truly your brothers and they are part of the body of Christ, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. These conversations need to be had and needed to be had publicly because everybody is in a kind of a crash course right now. I mean, I keep coming at it from that angle because I truly believe time is short. It's just something that I feel in my spirit. It's like all the signs are pointing to it, and I don't know if what exactly we're coming to. I have my suspicions, but it feels like we're coming to something.
Yeah,
and it feels like learning right now is really important.
Să aveți armura gata când ceasul greu va bate dușmanului să prindeți intenția și șocul.
That goes for all religions. It's not just Christianity. But I'm zeroing in on Christianity because Christianity is what I've spent the most amount of time investigating. It's where I grew up in. It's what's near and dear to my heart. It's what's got most of my friends and family feeling some type of way. And it's not always easy for us to talk about this. Like sometimes I have a big knot in my stomach before I do these videos because I know that what I'm saying is going to hurt feelings kind of sometimes. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm really not trying to. I'm not here to argue with people. If you disagree, cool. If you really want me to prove myself, ask me nicely. But if you come at me on some ego, like I'm just going to ignore you because I don't have to prove nothing to you. I'm not here to fight with nobody. I'm here to say, this is what I've learned. And if you want to see what's led me there, I can provide for you those breadcrumbs, but I can't take 9 years worth of information and condense it even into 9 hours. Really that effective. I mean, I totally tried last week. Woo, that was long. But I can't really do it. I can just give you all my cliff notes and my napkins and my little scribbles and say, start digging, yourself. So
probably going to find yourself in a shaky ground. But as far as where we're going, I have been saying for the longest time that politics is theater. It's something that I wholeheartedly believe, and I believed it for a long time. And so I don't spend too much time in that arena. I love having a guy like you on because you talk about the psychological warfare aspect of it. And it's, for me, important to peel back that curtain to show the audience that this thing that you believe in so wholeheartedly is ruled by a set of machinations that you don't have access to and you cannot see. In other words, you're not going to the booth and changing much of anything. And so that's what's important. But of course, talking about, let's say, this influencer industrial complex, that's a dangerous place to be as well. But I think you can operate right next to it, which is where we're going to end up operating, I think. And that is, if it is an influencer who is talking about the supernatural, if it is an influencer who is talking about the alien disclosure operation, things of that nature, that'll be a safe place for a while. I have a feeling that after all of our work is said and done, and we've shown people what we can show people, we're probably going to end up about facing straight towards God. And that'll be the last dangerous place to be. But I think we're kind of one step ahead of the apparatus as it closes up on the influencers. And so, you know, I look forward to that being dangerous when we're telling you that Jesus Christ is real and that he died for your sins and that he is the way, the truth, and the life, and then they send our heads rolling.
Dacă nu pleci o să vezi, te urmărește și n-ai cum să ieși în cazul în care te găsește nepregătit, nu-ți dă timp, te belește, te tăvălește.
By piconet, I mean all the difference spread out of the diffraction.
Got it. So it's got options, but I guess just to ground it for everybody who's listening, who's just like, again, a chipset. It could be on something like a USB, but would it be some sort of biological, like some sort of hydrogel inside the USB or something like that?
Yes. It could. Okay. You mean like a chemical composite on a substrate accessible like an organelle or organoid, living neurons on a chipset?
Yes. I think those words make sense.
Would they want it on that, or would they want it on something that was completely non-biological because it would be a soul separated completely from God's creation?
It's always this narrow path through the middle. Like, it's not this other shit that they want you to pick, this false binary that they offer you up, and it's just part of orchestrating the theater of everything that we're going to. And it's strange because, you know, a lot of this just came from us kind of looking at the way he was saying anybody who associates demons with aliens is an idiot. Mm-hmm. And it was in this mocking tone, and it wasn't offering nuance.
Well, it's not just that. It's people that I've referred the book to that have read it, that come back to me and they go, you know, this is what I gathered from it. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a problem if that's what you gather from, because I don't know what Timothy Alberino is.
Well, what did they gather? What are they saying they gathered from it?
Yeah, they gathered that basically what he's saying. He's like, well, he said that they're not all demonic and that
some of them are space homies.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, no, I don't think that's the case. But he was like, well, I read this in this book here, and this book is well produced and it's been manufactured like 100,000 times.
Yeah.
And you're just an idiot. And I'm like, I am an idiot, but this is wrong.
Yeah.
Something is. And I don't know if that's what he meant to do, although it seems like that's what he is meaning to do more and more, that we like interact with him. But I'm like, well, what you wrote here, that's the fruit that it bears. So we have to address that. That's a problem, because I really like this guy, even though he dressed like Indiana Jones.
She's really been on one, huh? Like,
because I'm telling you, I don't even think these people are human. Like, I look at Elon Musk and Sam Altman and leading people into AI. I have always sensed this demonic, because I'm telling you, I don't even think these people are human. Like, I look at Elon Musk and Sam Altman and Peter Thiel, and I'm pretty sure they're hybrid. You know what I mean? Like, they just look like an Apple software that I should be able to download at night, you know? Like, my phone's getting an update or something. It's something in the eyes. Like, I don't know. I'm like,
This cult organization, these belief systems, been around forever. These guys are just rinsing and repeating all neo-pagan belief systems and like transhumanist ideals, anti-Christian ideals.
Vise de transumanism cu oi roboți, cine mai numără? Șerpii spun să mănânci mărul zeii sărabzi. Ne-am ales doar cu cotorul, vine să-l arzi.
I mean, if we're all made in the image of God and these people are destroying like the thought process itself, it's just an attack on humanity. And continuing from the 90s projects, Joe Rogan is now the one. You aptly said that he's Laurel Canyon. Now he's the one promoting all these like himself. So even some of these people come back to his show to promote these LSD, DMT trips on a regular basis.
Mă târăsc într-un roi de insecte. Mi-a fost greu să-mi dau seama cine primează. Prietenii mei porumbei mi spun Coaie, ești bolnav maxim. Și porumbei spăsări pline de bol ca Băsescu.
Kim Kardashian donated this. Oh, Oprah donates that. Oh, Bill Gates donates that. Because they want in the sheeple's mind for them to perceive them as good people. Oh, they're helping out. Look, Bill Gates wants to die with no money. He doesn't even want to leave any to his kids. Oh, give me a break. If you believe that, you are completely gone. And there's not even a point in having a conversation with you if you believe that type of crap. He's giving it all to third world countries. Yeah, he's going to give all his money away into building out more vaccines. That's about it. Well, the Masons do the same thing. They tell you that, oh, we want your kids' DNA because we want to help. Just like the Shriners Hospital. And the Freemasons and the Shriners they're the ones who are responsible for making your kids sick, right? They're the ones responsible for vaccines, right? All these guys. You know, you think of Bill Gates and Fauci. They're all in the same secret societies. They're the ones bombing us in the sky with chemtrails every single day. They're the ones who stuck up all these 5G towers and told us it was, well, you're going to download music faster. That's why we're putting them up. Oh, okay. And everybody's sick, exposed to radiation. Everyone's tired, depressed. We know what exactly it could do with your mind as well, the frequencies that are being sent at us.
We got to talk about it to a degree, and that's so.
But I'm hitting it from. I feel like I'm hitting it from the other side. Like I've passed it, and I'm hitting it from the back. So I guess it's growing. But I'm like, I'm already over here. But I'm like, you guys don't see this shit. How about if I hit it again? It's
bonk,
bigger. Like, can you look
bonk,
at it?
bonk.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Gotta glaze the apple.
Gotta glaze the apple, dude. A little caramel apple. That's all. I get it.
They won't notice unless it's glazed.
See it now? No. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
Well, this stuff has been around for forever. So just like this apple that's been around forever, it doesn't get noticed until somebody puts attention to it, like what you guys are doing on your show.
They're the ones who are putting chemicals in processed foods, right? They're the ones who pretty much have made it impossible for people to farm. Then you don't have time to go home and cook dinner. You got to pick up McDonald's or pick up some other human flesh burger. And it's all processed stuff making you sick, right? Or the water we could look at. Going back to guys like Stalin who have poisoned the water, put fluoride in the water, right? So these are the same exact people responsible for all of that. So they're revealing themselves as Freemasons in the UK right in front of everybody's faces, and nobody understands who they are, what they do. And then when we talk about psyops and false flags, they just roll their eyes and they go, these people are crazy. Oh, Renee Good's in on it. Oh, this person's in on it. Oh, that person's in on it. Well, if you understand how secret societies work and the network that they have, then you realize how all this stuff gets accomplished.
You already know what's going to happen. You're going to go to your nearest political pundit and they're going to tell you and show you a video. Look at this. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, these things are fantastical and they're fun to look at and we can be outraged and angry, but there is no solution. We're
It's
just
just
going
a direction.
It's just it's like, hey, look at this. Hey, look at that. Hey, look at me reacting to this gay shit.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah,
And
yeah. That's why I pulled it up specifically through the lens of like just making fun of it.
Yeah,
like,
it's-
look at this hilarious thing that's happening. I have no intention of bonking that apple because there will be people that are like the Muslim takeover of, hey, this is where shit is going.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been paying attention, but if you've not, this thing, if you just woke up to this, it would seem shocking and it would seem like a problem to solve. It's not shocking and it's not a problem for you to solve.
How are you going to solve the problem? How are you going to solve the problem of Marxism that's spreading, like the actual Marxism from Karl Marx? How are you going to solve that? I don't know. Spurgeon did it with the Bible.
Comuniștii ca tine l-ar învia pe Marx, așa cum băiatul șoap l-ar învia pe SARS. Tu dă-le toate drepturile și rămâi doar un șif de cifre în bazele lor de date, deșteptule. Cu că dat-o pe față, apucă-te odată și față, cum și care-i treaba, nu mai sta degeaba. Acum că a dat alarma despre ce o să-ți facă farma și știi că nu te scapă karma.
That was at a time before it had any sort of foothold.
Mhm.
It's happened.
But he did it with a dangerous mix of not just the Bible, but actual knowledge of like culture, of economics, of understanding of individualism and what it means to be a human being at the very bottom. There are some people that are like that. And there are some people that are like that lose the plot in today's culture.
Yeah.
So we'll see who pops up.
Stau pe roze ca smogul printre mogul, nu crezi mogli? Cuvinte mari provoacă greață. Dragostea e neevitată a unei bestii în față cu gratii de gheață și ghete gratinate gravate de gravitatea grației. Greșit grăită ca un grec în Groenlanda. Găieri în greieri kamikaze, migrenele zgrenade în punctul belic al acestei nave arborate cu pistrui aprilieni ca Marte. Negru ca echipa Franței, până sângerez albastru în pielea ta. Micul dejun în sarcofag pe post de canataie, vise de împrumut, dar te trezești tot est european. Fără vreun gând anume, doar gargară cu acid sulfuric până renunță număr 23 de ani de iad. Refulez când găsesc valori care nu mă lasă să trăiesc în univers. Trăiesc un flux de vise, toate par stupide. S-a luminat de zi, nu văd pic de lumină.
De ce minți? Ce ți-am făcut? Îmi dai senzația de deja vu. Până acum trebuia să știi, sau poate știi, dar așa ești tu. Unde ți-e cruzimea? Unde sunt 20 de primăveri? Păstrează-ți nebunia pentru altul, n-am de gând să mă înnei.
It's interesting because those values used to be introduced through like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And now they're introduced through like this intellectual adjacent podcast. You know what I mean? Where it's like, he's a little bit funny, but he talks to smart people, so like it's okay to take him seriously. And through that, now these values are reintroduced into the community or into the into
This is why
the culture.
I think the level of sophistication as like how much we should pay attention to it is like, it's staggering. So if you don't pay attention to Joe Rogan at all, you don't fall for the Laurel Canyon propaganda.
Right.
But if you don't pay attention to Joe Rogan at all, then you think that ivermectin is horse paste. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting, yeah.
That could help you.
Now when I see Joe Rogan now, I go, I see what you're doing, and then I go,
and I like it. I don't know, where do you...
Dar nici beneficiarii trădării nu are strădătorii, deci sper să colcăiți pe veci în tomberonul istoriei viermilor. Squip rap the guerrilla, fuck rap the guerrilla. Când toți au căzut sperând să capete mila.
I was like, let me just pump the brakes and let me kind of just do a bunch of repeating so that people can, who have been listening can be like, okay, I think I'm hearing what you're saying, Chris. I think I'm picking up. Our heart is not to diminish God, Jesus, or the Bible. It's to simply say, y'all, we headed into a big trick, and the trick is going to get tricky. And if you think the trick that we just now finding out about was tricky, you ain't seen nothing compared to this new trick. It's going to require your blind allegiance to kind of really fall prey to the deception. Well, that's not true. People will be making up their own minds and being deceived. Plenty, I'm sure. But
and that there's no definition of what love is. That's the problem.
That's hold on, love. I mean, yeah, but yes. So there is no common definition of it.
I'm just saying, like, if you don't know, if you can't define what love is, and everything goes.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. So this Christ consciousness is that's the lingo of this new trick that, if you ask me, is not really new, because I believe that the truth of Yeshua in the first century Nazarene church and that whole movement was so infamous that it upset the status quo, and that status quo sought to glue and shellac a Roman-approved model that they use for a time until they're incubating this celestial model that almost supersedes the Roman model. And the celestial model, this Christ consciousness false light thing, they ride in on a campaign of exposing the Roman Catholic Church for the lies and the pedophilia and everything that they've been involved in, allegedly, right? And I mean, talk about wink. Is there something in my eye, or am I winking when I say allegedly? But the false light, this new incoming false light kind of system season that we're moving into now, away from the incumbent tricks, is all about exposing the trick. And so for us, I just remember thinking, I feel like people are not going to have a fighting chance unless they are told the whole story. They don't have to believe me. They just need to be introduced. We need to plant enough seeds to get people to look for their own enough to learn how the world works and the story works and the record keeping works. Because when you get enough street smarts to develop, okay, got it. So that's what y'all do. Y'all be saying this and then doing that. Okay, got it. Then you don't need to ask me or Jen, well, what do you think about A, B, or C? You can kind of have some of those sensibilities yourself. And when we saw this trick coming, it was like, okay, number one, we need to get ourselves out of the trick's way. But number two, we need to make sure to try to encourage and educate and help present to others as nicely as possible so that they'll actually do something about it. Yo, like, y'all, and by y'all, I mean me too for most of my entire life. Not you, because you didn't grow up Christian, but I believed a theosophist-based New Age extrapolation of Jesus's reality. My whole upbringing. It was never presented to me like that, but now I can look back and say, Blavatsky and the whole theosophy thing certainly influenced a lot of the themes and thoughts that I was taught growing up in my Christian upbringing. So she's the one that's saying we're going to be using the Christian church and the Masonic fraternity to bring about the true doctrine of Lucifer. And I spoke about this in the last episode, but I just remember at the time being like, really? I don't think that's possible. That's not possible. Y'all witches think y'all know. And then I later learned, oh, got it. Like, they kind of did all the groundwork already. And I'm just now born 30-something years ago and figuring this out. It's been a couple thousand years in the making.
Yeah, it's like slowly but surely. It's like
Exactly. So, and they've been doing this for 30 years. It's been live since 95. We're in 2025. It's time to wake up. It's time to catch up to speed. Boom. Biofield, aura, energy body, Li-Fi, LoRaWAN. You know, there's all kinds of technologies that are essentially relating radio frequencies and electronic frequencies in this general window. It's a bigger system going on. And the only reason I dipped into the whole Tartarian, Atlantean, antediluvian, but pre-mud flood era is to say, you guys, history shows that technology ain't new, and they simply just, it seems that we go through these cycles of withholding technology, introducing it, living off that technology freely, and then something happening where some sort of subjugation comes back into the conversation, and then the cycle continues. We're at the end of one aspect of a cycle. I do not believe we're heading into some crazy age of utopia, but we might be heading into the inverse of what COVID was, which is this kind of like false, you know, awakening that they allow so that the real teeth can clamp down. And I think that this, hey, we don't mean free technology for everybody. Like, see, we got the cabal out of the way. Now you can trust us.
Nu, man, zic câți au coaie să spună ce spun eu, man. Uite cum e, nu contează dacă pentru piesa de astăzi nu mă asculți tu mâine.
I wrestled with knowing all of the things, and I don't know all the things, but I knew a lot of shit, and it caused a lot of stress in me for a long time, and I wrestled with a lot of people who were close to me to try to see this thing, see it. And nowadays I'm much more in this place where, like, I think the problem with the Apple isn't so much the Apple or noticing the Apple or talking about the Apple. It's the bonking of the Apple.
And don't hit it. Yeah. Like, but you see that.
Yeah. And
don't
so
touch it.
the comedy really helps so we're thinking about bonking in a physical sense, but like, I know what it's like to never get my hands on any of these conspiracies as far to how to solve them, but still allowing them to just eat me away like acid and eat away my relationships like acid and keep me from doing the work that was actually important. And so now I think the place that I'm in is like, I'm unafraid to talk about the Apple. You want to talk about it? I'll tell you everything I know about the Apple, but it's always going to end with the Apple is unimportant. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. You can understand it. You can understand what makes it tick and how it, what it aims to do and all this shit.
When you kept asking me, you were like, well, then what's the solution? What's the solution with the Apple? And I'm like, I don't know. To be honest, like deep down inside of me, I want to be like, kill him. No, like I want to just move it over there. Like instead of it's in the path, I just like put it over here. Like you got to go over there because you are a distraction. You're staving this pathway just like over here.
Well, you know what it is though? It's like for other people who have noticed the Apple, they need to first feel secure before they take your advice on anything. They need to know that you see what they see. And that's where our job comes in is we go, hey, we see it. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about how you're seeing a thing that is real. How it's actually maybe even a little bit worse than you think, how it's been happening for a long time, what it hopes to achieve, all this shit, right? And now that you go, okay, cool, this guy sees what I see, then we go, it's not about that though, dude. You got to come over here. You got to K the J in your own heart. You got to pick up your cross. You got to focus on the work that's actually important because this thing... For real. This thing presents itself as a problem that needs solving. It'll take your whole life. And your life should be dedicated to a different type of work.
That is true. That is, I'm having problems drawing the delineating line, but not for myself, but like in explaining that.
Yeah, but I think that's it. I think it's like, because you really can't, that was the problem with the church for me when I was younger was like, wait, you guys don't see all these apples though. These apples are crazy, dude.
Ai păzit legea. Am păzit o singură lege, să nu ne plecăm genunchii niciodată, în fața nimănui. Nici chiar în fața zeilor. Nici! Atâta timp cât va mai fi un singur dac care va vrea să trăiască liber, ne vom bate pentru acest pământ.
Vorbesc cu zei, sub zenit, senin ca egiptenii și sumerienii, sumedenii de vedenii. Că sor de slovă, bine ai venit la tine în morgă, unde rămâi fără cuvinte, din vorbă în vorbă. E anul lacrimi, acum simți banul natri, întoarcerea planetei X și a Anunnaki. E 2012, scuipăm în codul ASCII, cu spirit maiași, rupem tot tunașchi. Soldații se feghe de vreme, doar par latenți, cu mâna strânsă, parmament încarc atenți. Intră în trans în parlament, să împart amenzi. Tu de ce parte te vezi în acest vag trapez?